Hi, witches. Welcome to our Ask the Witch Live. Just letting my business partner know that I'm online. So, we went to the Port Gamble Ghost Conference, and that was kind of cool. We did a bunch of stuff. That was fun. My class was sold out, which was a first in our history. So, that was pretty cool. So, if you have any questions or anything, let me know what they are by using the chat, typing it in for me, and I will answer it. I gave I gave a speech about which witch is which, where I talked about magic in and of itself so that paranormal investigators could stop being upset or freaked out if they find a pentacle or a pentagram on the ground. I explained good witchery versus bad witches, all that fun stuff. So yeah. So let's see. Witchcraft 101 is going well. We have a lot of students. Our next class will start next year in October. It is too late to add yourself into the class due to how much we cover as quickly as we cover it. So, I'm hoping some people join us here. So that we can answer some questions. I've been putting the apothecary back together. You can see that my, oops, this way. You can see that this is empty. It's because we just got back from Ghost Conference, and I'm putting the apothecary back together, and I stopped doing that so I could do this and answer all your questions and see what's going on. So we just had Samhain. We talked that Samhain has a lot to do with the thinning of the veil and visiting with our elders and our ancestors who have passed on, or our friends and family members who have passed on. There are several different things that we can do to honor our families and our ancestors during this time. The closest thing that I can say that Samhain is closest to, for people who don't understand the magical community, the closest thing, and again, this is a similarity, is Dia de Muertes, where we celebrate our ancestors. We have dummy dinners where we set up places for our ancestors to join us, and we celebrate them, and we allow them to have dinner with us, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that was kind of fun. We made a lot of good connections. Port Gamble is definitely haunted. We had a few problems with some electrical stuff, and some of the original founders of the town were there in paranormal form, or as ghosts, and they were not very pleased with it, but there were some that were very excited about it and having a lot of fun with it. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Did a lot of readings. So yeah, it's a very wonderful place. So, do we have any questions whatsoever from anybody out in the audience? Do I still get surprised by paranormal activity after all of my experience? Absolutely. I can still have things jump out at me when I'm not ready. You know, things moving behind me. There was a lot of noise in the conference room right behind me. I kept thinking there was someone standing behind me, but I was almost against the wall. So I knew there was no one behind me physically, but I expanded my energy and pushed them out of the room because they were starting to bother me. Mm. And it can still surprise me. Even after being this way all of my life, it can still surprise me. Yeah, absolutely. Um, we had a good time. Um, let's see what's coming up next. On this Saturday, here at If the Broom Fits, I will be giving my energetic warding class where you can learn how to protect your psychic self. This is a good class to take since next week is Thanksgiving and you'll be around a lot of people. So this will help you to protect your energy from other people when you're in large gatherings. So I'm really hoping that we get some people signed up. We have 2 students now. So, um, so yeah, pretty busy. Making appointments, got a few readings and a couple of amplified Reikis coming up. So those are fun. Amplified Reiki is where I use my tuning forks in order to reach more dimensions of the body energetically. Not only do you get Reiki where your chakras get cleansed and balanced and aligned, but I do them with the tuning fork, which is able to get into more dimensions than just the regular Reiki. I have found it very successful for the people who do Reiki. Asking for a friend, what would you suggest for someone with a busy schedule and has a hard time finding the focus to start their spiritual practice learn? The easiest way to get started if a person's really short on time is maybe like doing 2-minute meditations, using visualization for 2 minutes of what it is. What goal is it that you want to? Uh, do you want spiritual enlightenment? Do you want spiritual growth? What are your goals? You can also suggest to the person that they watch The Secret, the Law of Attraction. Um, the reason I say that is a lot of people who don't have time to do a lot of spiritual practices, um, The Secret will give you ideas on small things that you can do for yourself to grow your spiritual practice. Once you start at 2 minutes, after you do that for a while, you'll find that you need something else. Spells and rituals don't necessarily have to be long-winded. They can be very simple. They can be as much as stopping for 2 minutes, breathing deep, sending energy towards a goal or what it is that you're looking for, and then moving on with your day. Magic can be as easy or as complicated as you make it. So if you're just getting started, though, I would say start with like 30 seconds and then move up 1 minute and 1 minute and 30 seconds and then so on and so forth until you can do the 2-minute mark. Once you hit the 2-minute mark, you can add time on until you have like the 5-minute mark or the 10-minute mark, whatever it is you're looking for. Does that answer your question? Okay. Wonderful. So, all right. So let's see what we got coming up. Well, we have our class. I was talking about that on the 18th. On December 2nd, we will have the Winter Moon Bazaar. That will be at the Hillsboro Wingspan Event Center. I will be giving a gallery reading there. I'm not sure of the time yet. I'm still waiting on the information for that. Small Business Saturday. I will be here on the 25th for Small Business Saturday. So we'll have some stuff for we'll have some stuff on sale here for your holiday shopping and hopefully some little packages. Gallery reading, sure, I can describe what that is. It's where you buy a ticket and you come in, and this is where there's a very large group of people who are hoping to get a message from someone who passed on. Um, Not everyone in a gallery can get a reading. Some people are just there to see what it's like and get an experience about what it's like. But if you've ever seen John Edwards' work, that would be considered a gallery reading because there's a huge audience and he basically goes by the spirits who are being called to speak up to him. So it would be something along those lines where people who have past family members or ancestors that want to come through and give them a message. That would be at the gallery reading. We'll have all of our wonderful products on sale, all of our soaps. We have fairy dust now, which is fizzing bath salt. You're very welcome. And we also have sugar scrubs. We have 2 new soaps, Winter Solstice and Triple God. We also have a new beard butter that is on the shelves. That is also a Triple God. It's made with tangerine cocoa butter, or excuse me, tangerine shea butter. Shea butter. Um, we also have dragon egg pouches now. We now have spell shells where there are spells that are put with eggshells so that you can use it outside and not harm the environment around you. Uh, One of the biggest reasons I do that is because a lot of novice witches like to take a big thing of salt and go make a circle around their house with the salt. And then they call me because they think there's a problem because where they poured all the salt, there's no grass growing. Well, salt will kill anything growing in the earth. So the reason I make these spell shells is so that you can use them out and you can use them without killing everything around it or killing anything living around it. Because once the salt has gotten into the earth too deep, it can cause the earth to be unfertile for about 5 to 10 years, depending on how much salt was dumped. Um, so that's why we were coming up with these spell shells. They have flowers, herbs, a little bit of oil, and some eggshells in them. So this way you can use them in your plant. There's not enough essential oil in there to hurt your plant. Um, Only a few drops. And that's a few drops spread out in between all of the bags that come out of the batch that I make. So we have that. We have some gazing potions. The gazing potions, we finally got our bottles, so they're back up on the shelves, or they will be when I unpack them and put them on the shelves. We will also have crocheted ravens with little witches' hats on them when we get those back in stock. We did sell out of those, but we do have dragon eggs left. And those are really cool. For $25, you can get a really beautiful dragon's eggs pouch that was crocheted by my daughter-in-law, who herself is a witch. And so you can put, these would be great for gift bags to put in there so that you know that it's not just going to end up in the recycle pile or the trash pile. It's going to be able to be used for them for a number of magical things that you can use. We still have our whipped butters and our whipped lotions. We're hoping to have more scents that will make packs. So we're hoping to do like gift packs. Like right now, we have Fey Dust for Serendipity, and then you can get the roll on for Serendipity. For Triple Goddess, we have a soap and a roll on. And so, yeah, so you can make bundles with these. With the Triple God, you can do the Triple God soap, the beard butter, or the roll on. Those 3, you can put those in a bundle. And we're going to have sales and incentives on Small Business Saturday for that. So let's see what else. Getting ready for the holiday season. So that's fun. lot to do. So are there any other questions from anyone? Okay, guess not. Let's see. We're going into the darkest part of the year. This is when we work on our spirituality and we process everything that we've done through the time that it was light. As we go into the underworld, this is where we process and we transform ourselves into the new being that will come out and be ready on Yule morning when the sun starts coming out more and more every day. As of fall equinox, we've been losing anywhere between 1 to 2.5 minutes a day. So that's why it's, dark earlier. And then, of course, falling back with the time change. Myself personally, I hate daylight savings time. It messes my schedule up, it messes my pets up horribly. So right now, if you feel like you're being stagnant or that you just want to be at home by yourself, usually it's because you're processing. And right now is when we go into the underworld so that we can process and transform and transmute that energy into something that is a part of us. So we're getting rid of what no longer serves us and transforming into what does serve us so that we can move on through the new year and have that ability to change what it is we want to change. So, right now, if you're feeling like you're depressed or that you want to cry a lot, it's probably because you're processing things that have happened throughout the year starting in spring, because that's when we come out of the winter and we've gone through the true transformation of everything that's happening. At Imbolc is when we truly come out through our transformation that we've had throughout the winter as the days getting lighter and lighter and lighter. So, are there any other questions? I know that there's a couple people, I've seen people in and out, drop and come back in. So, I just want to make sure I'm not missing any people. The things that people can do for Yule celebrations, believe it or not, are very akin to what the Christians do. Donate things to those less fortunate. A lot of people will clean their houses so that they have room for the blessings coming in at Yule. There's the Yule log burning. There's some people who get up with the sun on winter solstice to hail the sun as our days are growing longer, and showing our gratitude towards the sun for coming back to us so that we can continue to grow our foods and have livestock and so on and so forth. Make Christmas cookies. I mean, all of this stuff is magic. I mean, remember, if you want to put energy into food, you're going to stir it clockwise. If you want energy to leave what you are doing, you turn counterclockwise. I do want to say this is that most normal witches don't do clockwise unless it's Samhain, because we're undoing the veil. So you probably want to go clockwise. Like in our family, the tradition when we're making anything for a bunch of people to eat is the chant and the mantra that we use is love and butter. And so as my grandchildren are stirring that in and we say love and butter, that gives the ability for our love and the yumminess that food with love comes through. And then you've made a magical meal. I know right now with time, there's not a lot of people who can make things, but if you buy things from people around you, instead of going to big box stores, go to small businesses, go to, the baker that is working out of her home to support her kids, or, those kind of things for Yule. You can find a lot of suggestions for Yule activities online. Google is, of course, a witch's best friend, because it can give you all sorts of information. So you can Google Yule activities. Also, witchy tips on Instagram and Facebook. They've got some great ideas of what you can do for every holiday, and they post them normally. But those are just, I mean, putting up a Christmas tree, stuff like that. Yes, you can add gem elixirs to food and drink. So if you are making something and you're stirring it clockwise, you can put a few drops of the gem elixir in what you're making. And that will enhance the meal because now you have the vibration from all of the stones that are in the water that you added to your food. So absolutely, that's another way to know that. Looking up the correspondences of colors: green for abundance, red for passion and courage, yellow for thought and intellect, green for, not only abundance, but grounding because it's earth. So there's a lot of different layers you can do when it comes to magic. The biggest layer of magic is your intention. So when you're there making that food and doing that stuff magically, one of the last things that you really think of when you're making that stuff is that if you put your energy into it, that the people who are eating it or enjoying that food or drink actually get a little bit of you with it, if that makes sense. Of course, we don't sacrifice anything, including babies, so you would just use regular kitchen stuff. Flour, sugar, eggs, milk, water. So you're very welcome. So do we have any other questions? Oh, we have the same. We had 3, then 4, and now we're back to 2. Okay. So, all right. So let's see. We've updated our logo. We have a brand new logo. Well, not brand new. It's been updated. And so that's really nice. I came home and it was like, I came here to the apothecary and it was like Christmas. I have boxes waiting to unpack. But I also have a mess of an apothecary right now with a client coming in tomorrow. So the rest of my evening is going to be putting all of my apothecary together, which I find is fun. I kind of get to reorganize it because we got some stuff for our displays this past weekend and I'm fitting into the apothecary. So I sure do hope you guys will come in and see what it looks like. I will be open to tomorrow, but on Friday I will not be in the apothecary. I have an event that day that's across town and across the bridge into Vancouver. I'll be giving readings at Love Potion Perfumery. This is one of the few places that you can get a reading for $1 a minute. Normally my rates are $3 a minute with a 15-minute minimum. At Love Potion Perfumery, it is one of the few places you can get a reading for $1 a minute with a 10-minute minimum. So it's only $10 for a 10-minute reading at Love Potion. Now, if you're going to come into the apothecary, into my apothecary to get a reading, or we do one online, it's going to be $3 a minute with a 15-minute minimum. So on Friday, I won't be here because I need to be in Vancouver by 4. And it's just impossible to get there on time when I'm leaving from Beaverton. So I'll be working from home on Friday, and then I will be in the apothecary on Saturday. And then next week for Thanksgiving, we'll be open Tuesday and Wednesday. I will be here. And then we're closed Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving and Black Friday. And then on Saturday, we will be open from 10 to 4 for our Small Business Saturday event. Getting ready for the holiday shopping and so on and so forth. And then there's the Harvest Moon. I keep saying that. That was the one they just did. Winter Moon Bazaar on December 2nd. And then after that, we'll just be here in the apothecary for any need that you have, whether it be a customized potion, a customized soap or lotion, or even a customized gem elixir, spell shells. All of our potions are absolutely customizable. We understand that people have allergies, and we understand that people, sometimes really don't like certain smells, and that's okay. That's why we have the apothecary here, so that we can customize all your potions. Let's see. Cookie is my familiar as well as my apothecary helper. And when you come in, she might bark. Please know she's only saying hi. She's got a loud voice. She's a big girl. But all she wants to do is be petted and loved by you, believe me. We have gazing potions. We have all of them again, including water, or waves, as we call it here. We have lots of roller bottles, gem potions. Those are also available. We will have our winter solstice roll-on available on the 25th for our Small Business Saturday. Winter solstice is a seasonal blend, so we only carry it for a short period of time. And then we also have our Fumari Totalicus. The Fumari Totalicus is basically fire cider. We took notes on Rosemary Gladstar's fire cider, and we are now making that. We make it with onions, garlic, horseradish, ginger, turmeric, and cayenne pepper, and then we add honey at the end of it, so that it's not too tart. We do have some without onion, because there are some people who are allergic to onion. At times we add cinnamon to it. We are out of that. We have another batch stewing, but unfortunately those batches take anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, depending on how much shaking and all of that other good stuff it needs to have, because we make it at home, because it has to be shaken every day, so that all of those yummy constituents can come out of the stuff that's in it, so that it can help you. Fumari Totalicus is good for stomach problems, digestive problems. It's good for asthma, sinuses, allergies, breathing problems, arthritis, aches and pains. I mean, it really is the whole thing. It can help with just about everything. If my nose is all stuffed up, or if I'm having a trouble breathing, I'll take a little bit of Fumari Totalicus, wash it down with water, and within 3 minutes, honestly, my sinuses are starting to open. I can breathe easier. I'm not sneezing as bad. So it really is a good thing to have. You only take a tablespoon whenever you need it. I have one customer who takes their tablespoon and puts it in hot water with lemon and extra honey in the morning, and that's their morning beverage while they're eating, so that they know that they're amping up their immune system, and that's another thing that this is good for as well. So yeah, we have several of those bottles. As a matter of fact, I can show you one. So this is what it looks like. It's kind of see-through now, but see all this stuff down here? These are the constituents. So if we shake it up, that's what it looks like. That's the label. But that's the color that it looks like once you shake it up. And this one has onion. We have other ones that do not have onion that are labeled. We'll have a different color top, just like we do with the cinnamon. The cinnamon has a red top. The non-cinnamon has a blue top. And I think the onions are going to have, no onion are going to have purple tops. So that way we know the difference between the three. Because we do have a lot of people who are sensitive or allergic to onions. So we took that out, and I believe we added horseradish and extra horseradish, ginger, and garlic, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I do not make it. My husband is allergic to apple cider vinegar, unfortunately. The last time I made it, poor guy's eyes swelled. So Luckily for me, our cauldron creator and my business partner, Shannon, took over making the Fumari Totalicus. Her and her family don't have those allergies, and her husband loves the smell. So that works out well for us. So yeah, so that's the Fumari Totalicus. Let's see. Let me see if I can get up here without hurting myself. Like I said, my apothecary's a mess. But here we go. This is very wet. So when it comes to our newer soap blends that Shannon has made as our cauldron creatrix, she's made some beautiful soaps. The first one that she made was Triple God. And again, this one is to go along with the beard butter and the oil. So this is the winter solstice. This is the Triple God. Here we go. This is the Triple God. It's really got beautiful colors in it, gold on top, and it smells really manly, very masculine. So we have that now, and the colors are, I don't know if you can see the colors, but they're really light blue down here. It looks like the ocean. It's very pretty. And then our next one that she just made for us is Winter Solstice. And this is from our Winter Solstice roller blend. So that way you can get it as a package, the soap and the roll on. I'm not sure if we're going to have Fay dust or other things to go along with it. I have to ask my cauldron. I have to ask Miss Shannon. She's the one who makes these, and I don't know what time looks like. So, and we've been so busy with the Ghost Conference that we just went to that we're a little bit behind in all of the other stuff that is necessary. So, and then the Fay dust that we have is very pretty as well. These are two of my favorite blends from our stocks. We have Serendipity, which is the original blend that the name of the company is from. Saren Witchery is a play on the word serendipity. So the light purple is Serendipity. And this is fizzy bath dust. It's not a compact or anything like that. Just take a little and shake it in, and it's yummy, and it helps you relax. It smells good. Our other Fay dust that we have on our website for purchase is Amethyst Fay Fun. Fay Fun is a lot of fun. I would recommend that this bath be taken when you're going to be awake for a while. This will give you a lot of oomph because it is all about fairy energy and having fun and finding that playfulness so that you can get through your day. And then we have the spell shells that I told you about and the gazing potions, but I didn't want this to be like a commercial. Shannon says she could be convinced, I think. Yeah. One can hope. So we've just been really busy with stuff. Unfortunately, we've been really struggling with our TikTok shop. It's all the paperwork. We're sending in the paperwork they ask for. They're telling us it's not the right paperwork. So we are working on that. And our hope, wish, and dream is that we will be up and running on TikTok shop shortly. I'm going to be working on that this weekend and then next week as well. Trying to get that up and running so that we can be ready for the holiday shopping. So, all Are there any other questions or comments, ideas? I'm open to discussions. Grooving in my own head. Okay, seeing none. Trying to think if there's anything else that Shannon would want me to talk about. I think I've got everything. Would you guys like to see the dragon's eggs? I can show you those. Those are fun. Okay. Yes, I do have. So here's the dragon's egg pouches. They open up on the top so that you can put your little trinkets in it. It's great for your oils. We're hoping to have some for our soaps, so that you can have it for your soaps as well, to hang it up, to let it, and also to scrubby it with. This is not scrubby yarn. This is just regular yarn. So, but yeah, so those are $25 each, and they're pretty good size. I mean, they're bigger than my hand. Okay. Do you have any recommendations for authors for novice witches? Yes, I have several. So the first one that I highly recommend is Scott Cunningham. Anything and everything by him. The first book that I started learning witchcraft through is The Solitary Practitioner's Guide to Wicca. It was when I read this book by Scott Cunningham that I realized that this was finally the spiritual practice for me. I didn't have to have a priest to talk to God for me. I could talk directly to my deity myself. Scott Cunningham was a prolific writer, and he is considered the godfather of neo-paganism, which is what we now practice. Anything by Silver Ravenwolf. And then there was another one that my girlfriend recommended, and I don't have that written down here. But there's several ones out there. Doreen Virtue has written a few of them, but that's more channeling. Yeah, Scott Cunningham, though, he has encyclopedias of herbs and stones. And so, I mean, if you were to go into Powell's City of Books, he's a prolific writer. Anything that Llewellyn produce or print, those are good ones to use. Amber Kay. Yeah, something like that. That was the other one. I think it was the one that Heather recommended, is Amber Kay or something like that. I can't remember the exact name that she I'll have to get a hold of her and ask about that. But Scott Cunningham, Silver Ravenwolf. Like I said, there's a few of them out there that you'll see. What's hard about that is what calls to one person may not call to another. So really just kind of be like, if it catches your eye, that's great. If you kind of pass by it and go, not really, that may not be the book for you. When it comes to finding witchcraft books, really go with your intuition or your gut. Does it feel right? Look at the back of it. If it's talking about all Norse deities and you're into Gaelic deities or Celtic deities, that's probably not the book for you. But again, really go with what calls to you. Like when I found my tarot cards, I fell in love, absolute love, with the picture that was on the box. And the picture on the box, unbeknownst to me, I found this out a couple of years after I got the deck, was the Leo card, and I'm a Leo. And so that's why it called to me so strongly, because that depiction of the Leo felt very personable to me. It was the same way when I got the Solitary Practitioner's Guide to Wicca. Somebody had recommended Scott Cunningham, and I just went and looked for him basically by his name at a book bin down in Salem. And I was able to find several of his books there. And I started reading The Solitary Practitioner's Guide to Wicca. And like I said, it was from there on out. That was what I was looking for. This was back in the early 90s, or mid 90s, when the churches were all voting on whether or not they would acknowledge and sanctify and consecrate same-sex marriages. And I just happened to be at a big denominational convention at that time, and they voted against it and said no. Marriage are for men and women. And at that moment right there, I knew I was not supposed to be in a religious practice. Love was love, and God doesn't care who you marry as long as you love each other and treat each other with respect. And so as a result of that, I left religion. And that's when I started looking for spirituality, because all these rules these churches were touting didn't fit with my own moral code. And my moral code is everybody loves everybody, and they're okay with that. And the gods and goddesses don't care who you love as long as you love them and you are respectful and you are communicative and you have a healthy relationship. So someone from the church at that point, who they themselves had switched from witchcraft to the denomination that I was working with, they highly suggested Scott Cunningham's Solitary Practitioner's Guide to Wicca, and I went and bought it, and that was life-changing for me. So, but again, if you pick up that book and it doesn't feel right to you, but you see the purple one to Ride a Silver Broomstick by Silver Ravenwolf, great, pick it up, go for it. Remember, witchcraft is all about take what you like, leave what you don't. Nothing's written in stone. Even though it's written on paper, it's not written on stone. Again, you can take what you like and leave what you don't. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, any other questions? I feel like I should apologize today for being more of a commercial for Salem Witchery and less of a Ask the Witch. I appreciate the people who have been coming in and out and the people who have been asking questions. I appreciate your interaction, and I appreciate you guys being here. As always, you guys rock, because without support from people like you, Salem Witchery wouldn't be here or be able to stay open. So really, really appreciate you guys. So does anybody else have any other questions? Ideas, thoughts? How would one learn about paranormal investigations and such? Well, Googling paranormal groups in your area will give you a long list of people in your area. If you're really, really interested in it, you can contact someone like Rocky at the Pacific Northwest Walking Tours up in Oregon City. He's the one who does the Oregon Ghost Conference. They might be able to hook you up with a local investigation team in your area. He might know of them because he is active with all the paranormal groups throughout the state of Oregon, as well as him knowing several people who are out of the state who run ghost investigations as well, or haunts is what they call them, haunt investigations. So if you want to learn more about paranormal investigations, you could take classes online. You could join a local group, and that local group will teach you how to use the equipment and know what an EMF is and all of that other fun stuff. And so as a response to that, you can learn more and you can get more education in that. Go to conferences where you can actually take classes. I give my energetic warding class just recently at Port Gamble. But there were other people talking about, like there was one gentleman who talked about, why are there no fat ghosts? Why does no one ever see a fat ghost? And that's usually because the form of the person is usually their favorite form of themselves. And so once they pass on, once they get the hang of it, they can change their appearance to what their favorite perception of everyone was. So even if they were overweight when they died, they might come back thinner in ghost form because, well, when they were 20, that's what they look like. And they enjoyed their 20s more than any other, time in their life. So it just really depends. So you could take classes like that at ghost conferences and, stuff like that. There's a lot of YouTube stuff out there. Paraflix is a all paranormal streaming. However, there is no captioning on Paraflix at all, from what I can tell. So if you want to learn about paranormal, you want to learn about ghosts, you want to learn that stuff, you can local group, study on your own, go to the conferences, attend classes so you can learn how to interact with them, what the equipment does, where the equipment can be purchased, so on and so forth. I know that there is one in Portland, and I think there's one in Salem too, that actually will take you on a ghost walkthrough. So they'll take you to haunted places throughout the city and they'll let you use their equipment. And then if you talk to them, they might be able to get you in touch with another person or a person who teaches or so on and so forth like that. So that'll be able to help you with that as well. I hope that answered your question, Shannon. And then, of course, if you have any problems with hauntings, I do house cleansings and ghost removals as well as attachments and cords. So, okay, great. So I hope to see you guys around the apothecary or inside of If the Broom Fits. I hope that you guys will come to class on Saturday. We've been on now for about 50 minutes, so I'm going to do a final. Are there any other questions that we haven't answered that anyone has a burning need to have answered? This is where I feel like I need to do the Jeopardy song. Do, 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 do. All right. Well, hearing none, no more questions, no more information being asked for, I'm going to go ahead and sign off then. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you again for joining us tonight on Ask the Witch. I do believe we have another one scheduled next month. I'm not sure of the date and time, and my calendar is not reachable right now. But as soon as I do have the information, keep an eye on our TikTok, keep an eye on our Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. And don't forget to watch our Moonologies every day at noon. I know that TikTok did not have today's on there. I apologize. It got lost in the shuffle, but I will be working on that tomorrow while I'm in the apothecary in between appointments. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Very happy Thanksgiving. Please be safe. Use protection. Remember to use your oils, use your bubble of protection, use the skills that you learned from me or from other teachers to keep your energy safe while you're interacting with big groups. And I hope that you have a blessed, blessed Thanksgiving. And we'll talk to you all guys soon. Blessed be, witches.